Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today I am really excited because I get to unbox and show you guys Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught from WizKids. This thing is finally here. I am so excited. You might have seen my earlier content where we talked a little bit about Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught and how to play with that early demo kit based on the Gen Con playthrough. But now we've got the full game. This is coming out in January. And if you want to see what comes in the core box, stay tuned. We're going to unbox the whole thing. If you guys are new here to the channel, there's still plenty of time to enter to win any of the giveaways we're running for the 12 Days of Life Day all month long. Plus the lightsaber giveaway that is going all month long too. That goes in through New Year's. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. And if you like what you see here, there is going to be more Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught content coming as well. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm so excited to dig into this game because I really liked the preview kit. I really liked the demo. And the full game is finally here. So big thanks to WizKids. They sent this out early so we could take a look at it and show it to you guys. So huge thanks. And let's go ahead and get this thing opened. All right, so we've got the box here. I'm going to give you a look at the box first. This is a high-octane miniatures game by Nicholas Yu and Travis Severance. They're calling it a high-octane miniatures game. It's you know, I think the way I would probably describe it based on what I've played at Gen Con and with the demo kit is it's kind of like a competitive dungeon crawl. You know, most dungeon crawler games have you kind of working as a team to try to get through the dungeon, and they tend to be cooperative games, and not everybody's crazy about cooperative games. You know, we've got you got different things that happen with cooperative games, like maybe they're good for new players coming into a hobby, but you know, you don't always have a winner and a loser in a cooperative game, and maybe you want something that's a little more head-to-head. And what this does is it kind of pits you going into a dungeon against the monsters, but there's another group that's also going into the dungeon and they're going against the monsters too, and there's treasure, and then you have to decide, do I want to get the treasure? Do I want to kill the monsters? Do I want to kill this other team? You know, or do I want to like practice some kind of self-preservation and try to get my own guys to safety? You know, so and since there's different, from what I understand, there's going to be different missions and scenarios in here. You can take that same aspect and have it in a bunch of different settings. So let's get this box open. All right, here we go. And first off, we got that D&D logo. The movie is coming out. It got pushed back, I think, to March. How many of you guys are excited for the Dungeons & Dragons movie that is coming out? I thought it was so funny that it got pushed back. A lot of movies do, so that's no real big surprise there. But I'm thinking, like with my own D&D campaign right now, how many times you have scheduling conflicts and have to kind of push your next session back. So a delay is actually very on brand for Dungeons & Dragons. It's a great way to synergize with all the players. They have a new line coming out. Oh, sprue-based minis. So you get a little bit of advertisement for that. So you're getting your flyer in there. We've got our rule book and a scenario guide. The rule book is going to be fully colorized, and we've got all of our rules here. I'm not going to kind of go through 100% of everything in there, but we've got a nice looking rule book. I'm already pretty much familiar with the rules, but I'd love to like read through this and figure out what I'm still kind of glossy on and what needs to be fine-tuned. And then we've got a scenario guide, and I don't want to go too deep into this, but we'll kind of look at maybe the first one, the Clash at the Keep. This looks like a much bigger version than the starter scenario. We've got kind of a center kind of area and some like kind of some line of sight blocking terrain that's built into the boards, and I believe there's the board is in here, so we'll take a look at that here in a moment as well. And it's got setup, it's got a little introduction there, and it's of course got your setup, your objectives, and it's 6 rounds, and so all of that stuff can kind of change. Oh, and it's giving you an example round too. So I guess this is a good place to start to play your first scenario when you get this pack. But there's more scenarios in here. Oh, there's even a deathmatch one at the end. Hold on. There was one more. Oh, deathmatch. Cool. Maybe. Oh, all right. Anyway, I don't want to spoil too much, but so you have some options with this. It looks like, which is really cool. We've got cardboard tokens, and we've got our board. I'm going to unpack that in a minute. I just want to pull everything out, and then we'll do close-ups on individual components, and we'll take a look at the board as well. Or I think there might be more than one board in there. I'm not sure exactly how they work, if it's double-sided or what they've gone with it. All right, we've got a round counter here. Now these are pre-punched. What we're looking at here is basically you've got a lot of slide dials here, the things to track victory points, and I guess maybe this is turns. I'm not sure exactly what the tracker is, or maybe it's scenario dependent. But this is also this kind of the same technology that they're using for all of the boards here. They're a little bit thinner card stock, but they're all pre-assembled. And so, like, what is really cool about this, and as well as the miniatures, which you can see here, are pre-painted. Like, you don't have to do a whole lot beyond just open it up and start playing, right? Like you don't have to put these all together. Like a Fantasy Flight games, board games, like they always have the punch that you have to create your dials. You have to punch everything together. You know, you get the sore thumbs trying to punch this, that, and the other thing. These are all put together for you, which is really cool. These are the character boards, and I'm going to probably do a more proper how to play video, but I already have one. If you want to get a kind of a rough idea, a quick start on how to play, I'm going to put a link maybe over here or at the end of the video as well to the demo kit that kind of gives you a quick kind of tutorial. We're going to take a look at these character boards, and we'll see the different characters that are going to come with the game. We've got lots of different character boards in here. All right, and we've got. I'm going to set this over here too. We've got we've got the young black dragon. All right. We've got, I guess we've got a couple of extra little stoppers for the backs of these too, which is always nice to have because you never know if you'll need it. All right, we've got a troll, an Etten. We've got some more character boards as well. So I think it's probably just going to be the bigger characters, because I know in the scenario that I played, we didn't have these big boards for the monsters. We just had a card for the monsters. So I guess some of the bigger bosses are definitely going to have their own board, which is really cool. All right. Yeah, but I'm going to talk more about these here in a bit. We've got lots of miniatures. We've got a bag of miniatures here, and these are all pre-painted, and they're on clear bases, and they have information on them like this is Bedlam right here. It'll say that real close. And we'll look at these a little bit more. We'll do some more close-ups on these. We've got some goblins in this bag. We've got some more minis in this bag. I think they're kind of probably grouped by faction, or maybe they're alphabetized. I'm not sure. We got a big guy in here. I'm gonna get all of these out. I don't want to show them to you in bags as much, but this is kind of how they're coming. I think, was this the Etten? All right. And then we've got, they look really cool. Those gnolls? He don't look like a normal gnoll. He looks like a boss gnoll. And we've got a wing. Oh yes, parts of the black dragon. There's 2 wings and then the body of the black dragon. Very cool. I'm not sure. Oh wait, I don't think. I'm going to recommend you probably don't glue the wings onto the black dragon, because if you want to store it back in the box, you'll have a harder time trying to do that. We've got some D20s here. We got the blue and then the tan, which are really nice. Very clear, easy to read. I was playing a demo using some metal dice, and they're sometimes really hard to read, the fancy metal dice, but I like seeing these. Oh, and they're faction specific too. So that's very cool. All right, we've got our small cards, which are sealed, and then we've got some more standard size cards, which are also sealed. And we have a really nice little insert in here. Look at that. I mean, it's cardboard, but it's pretty organized, right? Like, not bad. Not bad, whiz kids. All right, let's go ahead and take a closer look at some of these components. All right, so first things first, we've unpunched everything. I've pulled out all the components. I wanted to show you guys the game board. It is actually just one board, but it is double-sided. It's actually 6 tiles, so it's a pretty large area of all, it's gridded out, 1-inch grid. So you can actually use this in your Dungeons and Dragons campaigns too. It's actually a really fantastic, a good board for just about anything. This is a good kind of dungeon area. You could kind of block parts of it off. You could even fold it up and be like, you know what, we're only going to use, we're going to use just this portion or whatever. So you can actually, there's a lot of cross play that you can do here. You've got, let me spin it around. You've got the Dungeons and Dragons logo here. And, to kind of show you guys up a little closer, this is, you've got the 3D art, you got some like lighting on here. And so it's a very nice little artwork on here as well. We've got like kind of a dragon statue here. And there are rules that kind of talk about how terrain is going to work, because basically every scenario is going to have certain areas where, like, all right, this is elevated and this might be higher up, and then you're walking down the stairs and this will like block line of sight because this is a big statue that's here. And so you don't necessarily need to have a bunch of extra terrain that you put on your into your game. Like these, if you'll notice, this is something I want to kind of point out, is like this wall here. There are no grid squares throughout this wall, and so that necessarily, basically that's meant to tell you, to remind you, hey, you can't just like walk through this wall. There's a big old wall there. We're gonna flip this over, and we have a different dungeon setting. It's pretty appropriate for Dungeons and Dragons that we have a big old dungeon. We have 2 dungeons, and we do have a dragon too, which we're gonna look at here momentarily. So I thought that was pretty clever. We also have a lot of cardboard here. And so basically the cardboard is a bunch of different tokens. So we've got all these different loot tokens here. We had a much smaller section of these in the sample game. But there's also some bad ones too, like mimics and goblins kind of hiding or whatever. But they all say loot on the back. Now, I like this. This is like a slight little change from the demo that I had, and this is definitely an improvement, because you can use, by the way, this is what this is for, the really, really pretty envelope here. This is for basically a bag to kind of shuffle. You can put like you can put your tokens in here and just kind of be like, okay, we're gonna pull one out at random, and you can use this for that. It's kind of like the mystery envelope, but it is so darn pretty. You might not want to put too much wear and tear on it, because like, man, that's a really gorgeous envelope. I really like that. So you could shuffle out, maybe the scenario says to use like X number of, loot tokens. You can put those in there and have people pull them out, or you can just kind of have them all face down and then kind of swish them around and have people pick one at random. But also you have different tokens representing different conditions. You also have some character-specific or class-specific tokens that are going to come out, and each character will kind of talk about what their own special tokens do. You've also got some wound tokens, little blood drops are like wounds, and somebody takes wounds. You've got the 3 there to indicate more than that. And then we've got a whole nother token sheet. We've got like, I guess these are like walls that will go down for a scenario. Like, hey, because if you're just really using the one game board for each scenario, you might want to, change it up a little bit each time. Like, hey, and this one has more walls, this one's more open, so on and so forth. We've got treasure chests. These represents the like different chests that you'll be opening. We've got a vine wall here. We've got some more wounds. We've got the different faction symbols, some other like runes or whatever that can go on the ground. And then it looks like we have a little standee, or a cardboard cutout rather, for each character. And these are kind of cool because the game is, while it has miniatures, it can be miniatures agnostic. You can certainly swap your miniatures in and out for this, because all the miniatures can be used in like Dungeons and Dragons. And you could be like, hey, I want this guy to be my character in D&D. Or maybe you could swap a different character. Like, hey, no, I want my own character to come in. Maybe I've got a stormtrooper or whatever. Like, if I really want to go crazy, I'm not advocating crossing the streams or anything like that. But maybe I've, made my own miniature. I printed up a miniature from D&D. Or I bought an existing WizKids Dungeons and Dragons, miniature, which there's a lot of them. And I actually have a really cool tiefling that I used in my last campaign. And maybe I want to use her in place of one of these. And so I can always just like put her on and have this like underneath, just to remind like, oh, she's actually this character. So so it's not confusing, right? So like that's a really cool option, just to allow you to kind of proxy whatever you want to proxy, but you can this is to remind you what it really is. We've got some cool portals here. There are some standees. We've got these little typical plastic stands, right? So that we can have portals kind of stand up, and then you can do all kind of groovy stuff with that. But I'm just gonna leave all the rest of the cardboard off to the side, and we're going to take a closer look at some of the other cards. So let's look at the cards. All right, so there are 2 types or 2 sizes of cards in the game. We've got the normal standard card size. These are kind of the same size of card as a deck of playing cards would be, or thereabouts. And then we have these smaller cards. A lot of miniatures gamers or people who've played a lot of the games that I follow, most of the cards that come in like 2-player skirmish miniatures games tend to be in one of these 2 sizes. Now we're going to start looking at the larger cards first. First off, you get 2 reference cards. These are each double-sided, and they're going to just remind you of what certain symbols mean. There's a lot of symbology on the cards, on the player cards, on those boards that talk about the characters. And then, of course, the different types of actions. You have a standard action, a move action, and a bonus action, and of course, free actions. But you can always kind of downgrade those. And, of course, we talk about that in the how to play or the at least the quick run through. So we've got 2 of those. We've also got a couple of monster cards. These are for the smaller monsters. There are, if you're a bigger or more serious monster, you got a whole different character board for that. But the goblins, cultists, this is going to talk about like what you need to roll to hit them. You're going to be using d20s, right? So we've got the, look at that, the Zhentarim. I think that's the 20, right? That's the crit. Yeah, it's definitely not the 1. So yeah, and we've got 2 of these, and so you can roll 2 of them since, you know, you may attack with advantage most of the time, and at least we did in the demo. They might have just been being nice to us. I'll have to see if you still use advantage when you attack here. But yeah, so we've got the loot goblins. It only takes a 10 to hit them, and we've got all of their stuff, how many health they each have, and kobold cultists, and we've got the armored gnoll. And then so we've got monster initiative though. So like these are, so we've got initiative numbers, and so these are kind of cool. Basically, you'll just put this out talking about the monsters initiatives. And this, I believe, this is going to be scenario driven. But they're 0.5, right? So the players will go kind of around the monsters, and so the players are going to be getting initiative cards, and this can happen in secret because it is competitive, right? I want to go before my opponent does. I want to kill them before they, you know, attack me. And so there's a really cool kind of like you draw one and then I draw another one, but it's all kind of secret to one another until we start the round, and then we kind of divvy them out. So that's those are basically the larger cards. As far as the smaller cards go, we've got these these treasure cards, and so like if you were to get like the potion or whatever, you know, you draw the token that comes with that out of like a chest or what have you. Then you're going to be able to get this over by your character, and this is going to tell you what it does. And look at that, it's symbology, right? So the B is going to be for basic action, and then it's going to tell you like it's going to give you a 3 health, I believe, yeah, for a potion. And then there's some more symbols on here. I don't remember what everything means off the top of my head, but of course I could always just turn around and reference this card right here, and it'll tell me you know, a whole lot more about it. Oh, look at that, it's a heal, right? And there, of course, it matches heal. So there you go. The symbology totally works. And so we've got a little mini card for all of the different types of loot. But then we've got these mini cards that have the characters' symbols on the back. And this is one of my favorite parts of this game. Now, these character cards are the system in which you level up. So this is another way that they're kind of giving you the Dungeons & Dragons feel in this game, and without necessarily having to commit to an entire campaign, right? You can do like a whole campaign in a single session from a certain point of view, and that every character, you know, you gain experience when you kill things, when you shoot each other, you loot treasure chests. All of these things get you experience. And so I can, like, when I level up, I can get one of these cards. And I won't get both of them, although maybe I level up again and I can level up twice. Now, I'm not going to level up that many times in a single game, but it still gives you that progression within a single session. And I love that. So like I can have like 3 extra armor, 3 extra armor. This can be 3 times harder to hit me, which is really cool. Or after I defeat an enemy, I can heal 2, right? And then if I level up twice, maybe I can get both. And every character is going to have something different. Like it's not the same for everybody. So even when you look at a character board, yeah, you know, like, oh, like this person can also get the +3 armor, but then their other one is they move faster, right? And some of these have more complicated ones, like they gain this new ability, and so there are all kinds of really cool level up options. And I've seen some of them from the demo, but there's a whole lot of these I haven't seen yet, and it's just really, really cool. I love the option to be able to level up. And maybe you don't level up twice in a game. Maybe you kind of end the game quicker. And so that means like every game is going to be a little different, because not only can you pick different characters, you can make a different first choice if you're able to level up. If you're able to live long enough to level up, maybe you go with the other option first in hopes that you live long enough to level up a second time and kind of max out your character for this game. Very cool stuff. Let's take a look at some of the characters. All right, let's look at the different characters and the miniatures that come in this pack. So just a quick overview of all the minis. Over here, I've got the monsters. We're going to look at them in a little bit more detail in a minute. But first, I want to tell you about the different factions. This is a faction-based game, so when you are building a team, you're not going to be able to just mix any two adventurers together. You are going to be building a team consisting of members of a single faction. The starter box does come with 6 characters each of 2 different factions. We've got the Zhentarim and the Harpers. The Zhentarim on this side are going to feature their logo on the back of all of their character cards, their character boards, right? So they're all going to have that on the back, whereas the Harpers are going to have their Harper logo on the back of all of their character boards. And of course, the monsters are going to have a very different kind of board, and that's going to have just information, because the monsters are not a faction. No, unfortunately, you cannot put a black dragon on your team, unless, of course, you're coming up with some kind of really unique scenario. And if you do, I want to hear all about it. And of course, our last board, again, we talked about this one already. That's going to keep track of the number of rounds and all kinds of things that you need to keep track of for the game. This is an expandable game, though, so there can be more factions. And if you want to learn more about more factions, we're going to be taking a look at some of the other factions in future videos. So all the more reason for you to stick around and, of course, like the video, share the video, subscribe, click the bell for alerts so you don't miss out on all that good stuff. Let's take a look at each of these characters. All right, so first I'm going to go with Rockpyrotrick the Clanless, and I'm going to take a little more time on this first one, and then we'll run through all the rest. So first up, we do have to show you the mini. The minis are pre-painted, and they are very nice, and they have this awesome clear base where you can actually see not only their name, but you can also see their faction symbol on the bottom. So if you ever get confused, hey, wait, hold on, because maybe that art looks like it's a little more ambiguous. It's more of the magical aura sense, right? And you might be able to say, like, wait, who is that? Is that the Scarlet Witch? Am I playing Marvel? No, that's Rockpyrotrix. And if you ever forget on who the miniature is, you just flip over the miniature, read them on the bottom. Very, very cool. Of course, if you're homebrewing and you're using your own miniature, then no problem at all, and you just use those cardboard cutouts for it. Now, if we look at the actual character board here, we're going to see a couple of things. We're going to see the different types of attacks that they have. And of course, these are all going to be referencing on the card here. So you're going to be able to see the card and what happens, like, oh, that's melee basic attack for that symbol, right? So he can use his dagger, he can shoot a firebolt, and the S is like a standard action. It's like, oh, it's physical or arcane, and it's a attack an enemy. It talks about the range, if it gets a bonus to hit, and how much damage it does. That's what those attacks are going to do. And if you have a critical effect, of course, 20s are critical. In the case of the Zhentarim, you could certainly roll that symbol, which is the place of a critical. If you are playing the Harpers, you would roll that symbol. And of course, you can use these dice in your Dungeons and Dragons games as well. Of course, it's a D20, so you can use it in whatever you want. And of course, you gain experience. So there's bonus ways that different characters can gain experience, and you can also, after you defeat somebody, you're also going to gain an XP here, and this is a way for you to keep track of your XP. These are a lot of different sliders here. You're also going to use, similar to kind of how HeroClix works, you're going to start off, if you see you got all these skulls, you ignore the skulls and you just kind of keep going down, and boom, all right, we're at max health. We've got 9 hit points, and when we're at full strength, we've got 4 speed and then 13 armor class, right? Oh, and as we start to take damage, our health goes down, and once we get lower, some of those stats might change. Oh, all right, well, look at that. Actually, when he gets lower, his armor class goes up a little bit. Well, that's kind of cool. And it's down to 1 health left, and then you're dead. So in the red, that's kind of letting you know. Now, from what I'm told, some characters might actually power up when they get into the red. I'll have to play the game a little bit more and find out. But we've also got certain special abilities like Burning Hands and Fireball. You know these as magic spells. But in this case, the way we're going to cast those is we're going to see what kind of action they take. They take a standard action, and it talks about their cooldown. So this has got a cooldown of 5. So and we're going to use this little slider here and being able to say, hey, we can do a cone attack, which is going to be squares in front of us that kind of spread out. It's going to do 3 damage for Burning Hands, but it's a +7 to hit. But I think if I'm correct, this one actually hits everybody. So you can actually fry your teammates if you're not careful. And of course, anybody who's ever casted Fireball in Dungeons and Dragons knows that you can do the same thing. So, but at the end of each round, all of these cooldowns are going to tick down 1. Boom. And so there are also certain effects that will allow you to take these down an additional time too. There's just different things, like you might find a potion that refreshes cooldowns, or there might be a scenario effect that refreshes cooldowns, or maybe you've got a teammate that refreshes another teammate's cooldowns, or a lot things like that can happen, right? And so so that, once it gets all the way down after like 5 rounds after you use it, boom, you get the check mark and it's ready to be used again. Of course, you will start the game with all of these things in the checked position. Now, these two over here are normal abilities, and this one over here is a reactive ability, and that's an opportunity attack. So if somebody is adjacent to you and they try to move away, you're like, boom, you get to, but you only roll 1 die. You're not gonna have advantage on that, but it's still a pretty cool way to hit somebody, but you're not gonna be able to just use it over and over again. It is gonna have a single cooldown, so you can only do that once per round, right? So that's kind of a nice way to kind of, give you some extra opportunity attacks and do all of that stuff. That's basically how these work. Rock Pyrotrix is a mage, obviously. Let's look at the rest of the Zhentarim. We've got Bedlam, who is a warlock. Also, there's a symbol up here too in the top right I didn't talk about, and that's kind of what role they play. It looks like you're actually gonna have to build a team of people that are all different roles, so you might not be able to use like the same symbol multiple times on your team, which is an interesting thing. I'll have to get clarification on that, but that's kind of what the almost like fighter or mage or stuff like that. There's different roles that you're building a team. Like you might need a leader and so on and so forth. We've got the Pact Blade and an Eldritch Blast. So we've got a range and a melee. And of course, it'll say what their critical will do. And Bedlam gains an XP at the end of her activation. So that's going to happen automatically. So she's going to level up a little bit quicker. She has a strike ability and a curse ability, which is going to use one of those fancy tokens that we were looking at earlier. She also has the Hellish Rebuke, as tieflings often do. And she'll start with 10 health. And of course, here is her miniature. There we go. All right, we've got Lassalle du Arathmier. She's got a short sword and a crossbow. She is going to have her critical and a sneak attack ability. So you got somebody else who's adjacent, so really good teamwork options there. There's her faction symbol. She's going to start off, how much health does she start off with? 10 health. She gains XP after an enemy character dies. She can hide in shadows, has cunning action, and the opportunity attack. And here is her miniature. She is pretty dark. Wears a lot of black, likes to hide in the shadow. Well, she likes to hide in the shadows. Of course, black would be an appropriate color for hiding in shadows. We've got Barakiel, the paladin, who has the great sword and no ranged attack there. They're going to gain XP every time they're attacked, so that's definitely going to be your paladin trying to be the tank. And you got the magic weapon, you can smite, and you've got combat reflexes, starting with 13 health, and there is Barakiel. These weapons, even though this is kind of bent a little bit too, they are soft plastic, so they have a little bit of wiggle room. All right, next is Jivika the Flowing Maple, and she's a monk, and I absolutely love it. I love the monks and all of that good stuff. I play EverQuest 2 also. I play a bruiser, which is kind of like an evil monk, and so it's pretty cool. Anyway, so I've always got a special place in my heart for all of the martial arts based characters. We got an unarmed strike sling for critical mobility. Oh, look at that! They can't attack after you move, which is always nice. And so we've got she gains XP after using one of the cooldown abilities. She's got the flurry of blows and a stun, and the ability to deflect missiles. And starting with 11 health, and here she is. She's got that little baton on the back. Oh, that one ended up being a little curved, but we can bend it back. Still, man, like the pre-painted miniatures, I love it. I don't have to do any work to get ready to play this game. Like I could play it tonight. You know what I'm saying? When you buy this game, you can play it the same day. You can play it the same hour. You just got to open it up and play. Love it. And closing out the opening roster is Mistral the Cleric. And we've got ourselves a healer over here. We got the Mace and the Sacred Flame, and they're critical, and an XP after you heal a target to their maximum health, which is always nice. You can cure wounds here. You can pass without a trace, and then you can invoke Duplicity. That makes, I guess that makes their thing do a little bit less damage. And how much health do our Cleric? Starts with 11. Not bad. Not bad. And here is Mistral. Is Mistral a drow? I'm not sure. If you guys know, because I believe these are all based off of characters from the Forgotten Realms world, and I'm not as familiar with all of the characters, so I'm not as familiar with this character. So let me know. Although I will be playing Baldur's Gate 3 when it finally launches, so maybe I'll run into some of these characters. Really excited for Baldur's Gate 3 to come out soon. I want it now. All right, we've got the Harpers, and starting off, we're going to go with someone who can heal over here. We've got a bard, Chloe Amaznadel, who has the Rapier and, of course, Vicious Mockery, one of my favorite abilities. She's going to gain XP after she heals a target to their maximum. She's got Healing Word and Inspiration, the Opportunity Attack, and I don't think we start with 6. We start with 9, so a little bit squishier of a healer, but that's, bards should be. Sometimes you want to smack the enemy bard, pretty well. We've got, Drakmau Rockbiter, and that's this one right here. Okay, there's Drakmau. Drakmau has the Great Axe. Drakmau's a barbarian. They're critical and bowed, but unbroken. Special effect there too. You can refresh rage after somebody dies. Oh, look at that. Wait, that's not death, is it? Let me see. Let's see. Boom. After they're exhausted, refresh rage if it is exhausted. And rage is right here, of course. There it goes. So there we go. This is my first time looking at some of these. This guy wasn't in the demo kit. But yeah, you can just, some of these are either on or off, and rage is one of those things that can be on or off. You've got the reckless attack, you got rage, you gain XP after somebody dies, you got an opportunity attack, and I'm guessing at least 11 health. Oh, 12, 13, 14. Whoa, lots of HP on Drakmau Rockbiter. All right, next is Belio Macgabhan. All right, yeah, I think I'm trying to say it right. Who is a druid with a quarterstaff and the poison spray. There's their critical. They're going to gain XP after using an ability. They've got spike growth and the wild shape of the wolf, which it would be really cool to swap out for a wolf miniature too. If you happen to have a wolf miniature, oh my goodness, this is the time to swap it in when you're doing that, right? Just for fun, for funsies. They've got the opportunity attack, and our druid's going to start with 11 health. All right, rocking on. And this is a bigger miniature too. I'm curious what race is he, like a Furbolg maybe, or something like that. This is another one of those characters I'm not that familiar with. Just for reference, here, this is kind of like most of the other characters are a little bit normal size, so much bigger, and we've got smaller characters too, like our next one. We've got Grabbleshanks. You might have seen Grabbleshanks in the other playthrough we did of the demo kit. Here's a wonderful little ranged attacker who has the dagger and the short bow. Extra damage on the critical. Of course, after they defeat a character. It doesn't have to be, I think that can be anything, any enemy character. I think that can even be a monster. All right, I think so. I'll have to double check with the rules. But they've got the double shot to make an extra ranged attack for a basic action. And they can mark somebody as well. That's going to be using another one of those special tokens we looked at before. Of course, you have the opportunity attack and the somewhat squishy value of 10. Starting 10 health is not too shabby though. 10's not really squishy. Pretty good HP for a tiny little ranger like Grabbleshanks here, right? Yeah. Grabbleshanks is gonna shoot you right in the head. If they can, right? Well, that would be a critical. We've also got Sedona Sparklebang with the staff, acid splash, and gaining XP at the end of your activation. They can twitch and hypnotic gaze. Also have guided strike and a little squishy with only the 8 hit points. And they are also pretty tiny, very tiny, but very colorful with the magical artifacts and the staff and is that a ruby? Maybe I'm not sure. Maybe it's a. Maybe it's got the oh, I know what it's. Maybe it's got like a fire elemental inside there. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think they're actually, what's in that crystal. It might actually be from a story, and maybe I should know better. Last but not least, Lightning Dancer, also another character we had in the little demo. The fighter here is got a long sword and no ranged attack. But of course, once to tank, they gain XP after they're attacked by an enemy. They have Charge, which helps make up for their lack of range, and Challenge. They have the combat reflexes, and let's see how much HP we're starting out with. 12. Is it 13? It's 13 HP on Lightning Dancer. And Lightning Dancer is actually probably one of the best looking minis in here. Really, really good paint applications. A lot of detail between like the green and the brown. It's very clean. On a lot of this green and brown. I mean, for a pre-painted miniature, this is one of the best that I've seen. This is maybe the best one in the whole box. It's really just really, really nice on the armor, and there's a good wash in there too. It looks good. It looks good, and you know, like I said, like a lot of games don't come with pre-painted miniatures. It's a rarity to find that right now, which is so cool. And if you, for whatever reason, if you don't like it, you are totally free to repaint it or to use your own miniatures as well. Let's go ahead and look at the monsters. All right, so first we've got our kobolds here. They are all super tiny, and they are all painted, and they're all in different poses too, which is kind of cool because they could have gone with just the same pose for each one. But I also happen to like that they're numbered like Kobold 2, Kobold 1. You know, you can, because like the scenario might say like, hey, Kobold 4 has a different behavior than Kobold 3, right? Like they can totally, and so each one of them is numbered. This is Kobold 3, Kobold 4 right here. And look, he's got like a turtle shell shield. I love that. That is just really, really cool. So I love that they made them all different, right? And of course, and you can totally use these as kobolds in your Dungeons and Dragons campaigns as well, or in between, you know, sessions of Dungeons and Dragons Onslaught. So I love that. We've got what is this one? This is Knoll 1, and oh, that's right, it is a Knoll. And oh, look at, he's got a little button nose. All right, and he's here. You can get a good look at him. He's holding a two-handed spear. He's barking at you. All right. And this is Knoll 2, who's armored a little bit heavier, right? And I think I would bet you that there's going to be some scenarios that just say that Knoll 2 is tougher, right? Or different somehow, since he's wearing some plate. And look at that shield too. That was probably once a bigger shield, but there's enough of it left that he can still use it. And he's got a pretty big axe there. I don't want to tumble with this dude. I definitely don't. We have our bigger stuff here too. So let's take a look at the troll first. I actually called this one the Etten earlier because he was in the bag, and no, he's clearly a troll. Clearly a troll, man. He's got he's ugly. He is ugly. I don't want to mess with him. You gotta use fire against a troll, don't you? There he is. It says it right there. And just in case you got confused. Troll. And these guys are going to occupy more spaces, right? I believe like he's going to occupy 4 spaces. So all the ones we've seen so far are just single space miniatures. You can see they only occupy 1 square. These guys are going to occupy more than that, which is cool. And so we've got our board for the troll. They're talking about, oh, look at that. He's got his regeneration. He's got his abilities, and he's got his own board here as well. Oh, look at that. So you've got your, well, so I can start him with 91 health. If I wanted to, as his movement and his armor class, or his armor over there. And we've also got, I think, is this 2 different versions of him? Let's see, we got young troll right there. Oh, and troll. Oh, so we can run them as 2 completely different versions on the back side. I see. So lots of replayability. I thought it was just more information on the other side. But this is not a young troll. This is a full-blown troll. Oh man, 13 health on this guy, and wait, 18 health on that? Maybe this guy's wounded. Oh no, 25 health. I don't even know what the 13 is for. I guess I'll have to read the scenario and more of the rules to figure that out. Very cool stuff though, and that's the young troll, and of course the troll. We have the Etten here, who is going to also come in 2 different versions. We've got, look at that. He's got war paint on. He's ready to go. He is got a spiked club, and then he's got more of like the axe over here, and he's you know, he is ready to step on you and take your bones. All right, so let's take a look at the young Etten. He's got 3 move speed, 13 AC, club, critical, and then his monstrous reach. And he's gonna 22 health on this guy, and that's the young version. How much health does the full blown? 30 health. Woo! So I can't wait to see how these scenarios are gonna work, because I can't imagine having a 30 health Etten walking around, and I also have to worry about the other team as well. Like, do I even waste my? Can I even bother attacking this guy when I have to think about you shooting arrows and casting lightning fireballs at me and stuff like that? You know, oh my goodness, this is gonna be a really fun game. I'm so excited. You can hear it in my voice, I'm sure. Let's take a look. We're gonna look at the dragon. We've got the card here. We've got the young black dragon. But so check this out. So this is here's how it works. We're gonna put these in here. I gotta zoom out a little bit. Hold on. All right, so basically, I'm going to take this now. I want it to kind of scoop inwards. So if you put it this way, that's not going to go in right. It also doesn't look right. So make sure you line this up. Make sure you line up these parts too with the line there. And it should go in all the way, and those should kind of slot into there. Boom, and you just have to wiggle it, and then it fits, and it goes in nice and good. And we're going to put this one in here, and these will come out also, so you can store them. You know, and they're in there securely, but they're not in there so tight that you can't get them out. So you know, it's gonna stay nice and firm and secure for your gameplay. And I've got this beautiful black dragon. Yeah, he's massive. He is, like, I'm gonna take it to a group shot of him with everybody else, you know, here in just a second. But he's incredibly massive. We've got the young black dragon. He's flying, and the young black dragon grounded. So 25 health when flying, acid breath. Look at this. So he's range 2, +5 to hit, or I mean, range 3 to 5, but like a 2, like area wide kind of bubble. +5 to hit, 3 damage on that acid breath. It cannot be targeted by melee when it's flying. Oh man, so you don't want all melee characters in your list, right? And then he's got a weak spot. If he suffers, when he suffers damage from an item's attack, he suffers an additional damage. Oh, I wonder what kind of items are gonna be used. Oh, and when he's on the ground, he's even tougher. And then I have a feeling you have to fight this guy in phases, as opposed to just having a young version and an old version. He is the young version. He's got the bite, the claw, the swipe, the acid breath, his weak spot. He's also got that 17 in blood. So again, I'm gonna have to look up and see what that means. But 35 health, and he is he's 16. He's gonna be, you know, you're gonna miss him a lot. That's for sure. So very, very cool. Yeah. Look at this guy. All right, I got one more cool thing to show you guys. All right, so I did say I was going to show you the black dragon next to some other miniatures, just to give you an idea. One other thing about this guy, before I show you the other thing that I wanted to show you, there's an extra ring on this one, and I did look over the rules briefly. It does talk about the size of this one, because he is bigger than even these other guys. He's still going to only take up 4 spots on the board. The extra size there is really just to support the massive miniature. So he's only going to use up 4 slots, so you can still have people kind of overlap him a little bit if they're right in there, as long as it's not outside of that center 4 area. So that's kind of cool. And then they put that extra ring on there to remind you. But as we're going around, you know, we have these loot things, and so maybe you pull a loot from a chest, and it turns out to be a mimic, right? And like the mimic's maybe gonna do some stuff. Well, there are these really fancy cards. Now, this is not gonna come in the core set. This is actually part of like the launch kit that you might find in a local store, in an organized play kit or whatever. And what I am gonna do is show you guys the miniature that goes with this. WizKids sent me out a little bit of a launch kit, and look at this guy, look at this mimic. This is some special promo stuff here, and if you want a chance to win a mimic card and a mimic miniature, I am going to put these up in my Discord. We have a great family-friendly Discord. There's going to be stuff in the links to all of that in the video description. So check the video description. I'm going to put this Mimic and the card, which is a beautiful, beautiful holographic card, right? And of course the miniature itself. I'm going to put these up in the giveaway section in the Discord, and I'm going to leave them up until this game actually comes out. So this way, you know, if you are, you know, if you don't see this video for a while, and maybe the game is getting ready to come out, and you watch it like maybe a week or two later, I want to give people a lot of time to have a chance to enter to win. But yeah, I'll go ahead and ship it to you. You can get yourself a cool little promo, and of course you can probably get these at your local stores as well that are ordering the launch kits for Onslaught. And if you are watching this in December, like before the game comes out, let your local stores know to order this stuff to get Onslaught on the shelf and to get the launch kit, so they can have a little bit of kind of like a launch party where you guys can you know play the game, demo the game, and maybe get some swag. But if you don't get that, of course you'll be able to try and get it in our Discord, and I'll tag you if you win. So pretty cool stuff. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. Again, big thanks to WizKids for sending these out. I'm super excited to share this with you guys. All right, guys, that is a quick look at what comes in the Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught core box. This is going to be so much fun. I can't wait to get as many games in as I can and to bring you guys some updates on like what I think of the actual missions in the core box. We'll do a lot more content on this. Plus we have some other faction packs to look at in the future. So stay tuned for those as well. I will talk to you guys later. Again, a huge thank you to WizKids for making this possible and sending it out. I will talk to you guys later. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. So say we all. You can't take the sky from me. Ho, 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 ho. And Hakuna Matata. And big thanks to my patrons as well. You guys make this whole channel possible. See ya.